300 million years ago, ancient oceans began their retreat, revealing a land that was once hidden. Over the course of countless millennia, the exposed limestone, like a canvas, was sculpted by the gentle yet persistent hands of nature. Wind, rain, and flowing rivers carved the stones into sky-high pillars that now make up Zhangjiajie, a land so surreal and majestic that it inspired the world of Pandora in the Avatar. Despite being one of the most popular tourist destinations in China, I've never been to Zhangjiajie. So with minimal planning, I booked a train and packed my bags, ready for a solo adventure. So what up guys, just finished packing. So I've stuffed all my equipment and everything in this one bag. And I gotta say, I'm not sure if this was a great idea because this is heavy as f***. Like all my clothes are in front, all my toiletries, chargers. We're taking a overnight sleeper train that's gonna take 13 hours. Because right off the train, I'm going straight to the National Forest Park. I'm gonna be carrying this backpack all day tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I hopped on the metro and arrived at the Guangzhou Railway Station, a station that mainly serves older and slower moving trains. One might assume that with China's advanced high-speed railway, traditional trains will become obsolete. However, this is far from the truth. In an effort to save money, many still endure the slower pace of traditional trains, even though the high-speed Gaotie completes the same journey in less than half the time. I was filled with anxious excitement as I entered my home for the next 13 hours. On this sleeper train, each sleeping quarter has 6 beds, with 3 beds stacked on each side of the wall. Unfortunately, I was assigned the middle bunk, which lacks the convenience of the bottom bunk, as well as the headroom of the upper bunk. I'm settled in my little nest here. It's like absolutely zero clearance for headspace. Still more room than the boat hotel that I stayed at in Amsterdam, but yeah. I decided to relax by the window and enjoy the views. My moment of peace was suddenly disrupted by a crying baby. Things were not much better at bedtime, as the lady across from me talked non-stop on her phone. After she finally fell asleep, her extremely loud snores continued to bother me throughout the night. Waking up after only 4 hours of sleep, I was more than happy to get off the train. So I brushed my teeth and eagerly anticipated my arrival at Zhangjiajie station. Upon exiting the train, I transferred to a bus towards Wulingyuan, where the entrance of the Zhangjiajie National Forest Park is. The bus ride was bumpy to say the least, but the journey was only 13 yuan for 40 minutes of driving. Despite not having eaten anything since last night, I was still not hungry, so instead of breakfast, I picked up a much-needed caffeine boost at Starbucks. Upon entry, the park provides free shuttle buses to various destinations, complimentary with the tickets, which themselves give you 4 days of access to the park, should you need more time to explore. My first stop was the 10-Mile Gallery. Located at the base of Tianzi Mountain, the 10-Mile Gallery offers visitors a sneak peek to the unique landscape of Zhangjiajie. Here, you can choose to either walk the path or take a very cutely designed electric train to the other end. I decided to take the train since I enjoy half off with my student ID. The train ride was bumpy and slow, accompanied by an audio guide that introduces the surrounding landscape, although exclusively in Chinese. The end of the ride is marked by the Three Sister Mountain Peak. I think 3 fingers would be a more appropriate description. Getting off the train, you are greeted by street food and souvenir shops. I was not interested in purchasing anything, so I went ahead with exploring. Here, you have the option to hike up Tianzi Mountain, a task I was not ready to take on. So I went down a different path where I received my first warnings about the wildlife. Expecting to see wild monkeys, I walked down, but was sorely disappointed to see them locked up in depressing cages. So I left this area and decided to walk back instead of taking the train for the full experience. The next stop took me to Jingbianxi, or Golden Whip Stream. The river runs 7.5 kilometers, traversing through mountains and valleys. Here, you can enjoy a relaxing hike beside the stream, unless one of these naughty macaques get in your way. Of course, exercise common sense. They won't bother you unless you bother them, most of the time. The full 7.5 kilometers can be walked and will take you to the southern gate of the park, where I plan on going tomorrow. So today, I just grabbed myself a refreshing cup of grape juice from Mixue. And enjoy the cool water, valley air, and beautiful scenery. Originally, I had only planned to explore the parts of the park beneath the mountains, but since time permitted, I bought a gondola ticket up Tianzi Mountain. Luckily, I was able to secure an entire cabin all to myself. The gondola places you between the Kars Mountains and gives you an unparalleled view of the bewitching landscape. The cool mountain air was even fresher than below. The temperature was just right, cool while not being cold, which reminded me of my home in Canada, a much-needed break from the hot and humid climate of southern China, where I've been for the past 8 months. Once atop the mountain, the only way to go is to take a shuttle towards Helong Park, where most of the tourist activities occur. This apparently includes a McDonald's at the top of a mountain in China. As I explored the park, I stumbled upon Tianzi Pavilion. The inside was slightly disappointing as it felt like a silver jewelry tourist trap, disguised as a cultural showcase. Still, it was cool to see the jewelry made live. At this point, I had not eaten anything for 24 hours, so I descended down the mountain and exited the park, ready to return stronger tomorrow. The next day marked an early start for me as I tried to beat the line to ride the infamous Bailong Elevator. Stretching 326 meters and sitting at the cliff of one of the mountains, the Bailong Elevator is the tallest outdoor elevator in the world. It is also one of the many ways to ascend to my next destination. My early wake-up paid off as there was no line, and I managed to snag a position right in front of the viewing glass. The entire ride was just over 1 minute long and takes you to a viewing platform. From here, you can take a shuttle to Zhangjiajie, where perhaps the best view of the Avatar Mountains can be found. From here, you can choose to continue down a hiking path along the cliffs. This is the route I chose. If you get tired along the way, you can hire one of these people carriages. Be warned, such services are not cheap. Following the path along the cliff, I eventually reached the world's first bridge, also known as the Rocky Natural Bridge. Formed from the collapsing of the stones beneath, the bridge spans 2 meters wide and connects 2 mountains. Across the bridge, you'll find a mountain adorned with wishing ribbons and logs, placed by people hoping to receive blessings. Continuing down, you'll reach Zhangjiajie, which basically has more viewing platforms. I took a break from the hike and had this unique snack. And an earthy flavor. Consistency kind of reminds you of snot, so not the most appealing for most people, but definitely a unique taste. Eventually, I reached the Zhangjiajie cableway station, and I took a tram down the mountain, ready to exit the park. But before the shuttle took me to the exit of the park, it stopped at the Huangshizhai cableway. I debated with myself whether it was worth it to go up another mountain for the same view that I had gotten so accustomed to seeing over the past 2 days. Tired and with my shirt soaked with sweat, but at the same time not wanting to leave any stones unturned, I mustered up the energy to go up to Huangshizhai, and I am so glad I decided to go. The mountains here were a deeper shade of yellow, and there were formations that I have not seen anywhere else in the park. Did I mention that there are also monkeys up here? Along the walk atop Huangshizhai, I noticed a peculiar sight of people placing sticks between crevices in the rocks. Not sure of the significance of this. After doing an entire roundabout on the mountain, I took the cable car down. The view from the cableway was even more exceptional than the ones before, putting you at an intimate distance from the mountains. Alas, I was finally finished with my journey at Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. With a heavy backpack and a sweaty back, I exited through the southern gate, reminiscing about the unique and beautiful landscape. It truly felt like I was transferred to a different world.